prayer.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه يا حي يا قيوم يا بديع السماوات والأرض يا ذا الجلال والإكرام اللهم إنا نسألك أن تحيي قلوبنا بنور معرفتك أبدا يا الله يا الله يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم آمين. We can start, inshallah, reading from the second flash, and fourth point. What subject is? The subject, what we are studying, the story of the prophet Job. Right?
Right.
Okay.
I'll begin. Fourth point.
Yep.
The power of patient endurance given to man by God Almighty is adequate to every misfortune unless squandered on baseless fears. But through the predominance of delusion, man's neglect and his imagining this transient life to be eternal, he squanders his power of endurance on the past and the future. His endurance is not equal to the misfortunes of the present, and he begins to complain. It is as if, God forbid, he were complaining of God Almighty to men in a most unjustified and even lunatic fashion. He complains and demonstrates his lack of patience.
Something?
No, it's just very more practical. It seems on the surface more practical than the way the author normally writes, I feel like. Because I would maybe want to reread it, but I guess it's interesting that he's saying we have the capacity to be patient and to deal with seemingly tough things in our lives. But we can waste some of that capacity on worrying about the past and the future. I mean, is that a correct rewording of very literal, obviously, interpretation of what I read? But I think that was.
And also the same, it is not right. It is not reasonable.
Not reasonable to waste your capacity on the future or the past.
Yeah, because the main reason why we shouldn't do that, I think that is the beauty of it. Why shouldn't we, or why do we fall into the trap of scattering our patience into past and future rather than concentrating on the present moment?
Because he's imagining that he's eternal?
Yeah,
his life, the transient life is eternal?
Yeah.
So
we forget this very fundamental thing.
So if you were more conscious that your life is not eternal and that you are losing every moment or that you're a transient being, then the author is saying that you would be much more focused on the present.
Because the creation, the act of creation is transient in this world. Not the act of creation. Act of creation is permanent, but the creation is transient. This must make us feel that or understand that every moment is transient anyways. So past is past. Future has not come, it is transient. So I have to concentrate on the moment I'm created.
Which is transient as well. Yeah, but
And what I am experiencing concerns me right now. Not what the past. Past is past. Future has not come. For example, somebody is in pain. If you scatter the patient, say that, look, I have been in pain for a month, and the doctors say they don't know the cure yet, and you have to suffer for some time, another month or so. What I do, unbearable. But if I know that the nature of the creation of this world is transient, and my duty is just to experience the moment I'm living and concentrate on the moment that I am experiencing pain right now, and knowing that it is going to pass as well. What happens? It will pass. It will pass. Don't worry. And another will come. Yes, will come, but has not come yet. Why do you concentrate on the one which has not come yet? The importance of this understanding comes from understanding that we are experiencing the creation momentarily. Every moment is a new creation. So this understanding helps us solve many of our problems. But in a theological problems, practical problems, the creation is continuous, act of creation is continuous, but what we experience is momentary, and my responsibility is to concentrate on that moment. What is created for me right now?
Is this idea of constant creation and every moment being created, is that basically like inject a sense of purpose into everything? Because if you're constantly thinking about that everything that's happening is created, then it makes you feel like, well, if it's created and there's a creator, then there's purpose behind it, right? So I feel like that leaves less room for randomness in your big picture thinking.
Oh, of course.
So even if you are suffering pain, if you've had enough evidence in your life and you've proven to yourself that there is a creator, then it ensures that you will search for some sort of a reason for having that pain if it's created, if it is indeed created.
Yeah.
But the part that confuses me a little bit is last time we were talking about how in that pain, in that momentary pain, there is long-lasting. There is a lesson for us to learn that there is a long-lasting benefit for it.
Definitely.
And so we're because it
we relate to the creator.
It brings you to the realization that this must have been created
on purpose
and
to teach me something.
And there is a creator. And
I'm learning.
Yes. So we're not only just thinking about the moment.
What are you talking about?
We're connecting it to the future as well.
No.
We are.
No.
Because we're talking about an everlasting.
Just a minute. Yeah, okay, I understand you. We are not connecting to the future. The past, present, and future is linear on the horizontal level in our imagination. As far as the creation is concerned, act of creation is concerned, it is vertical. It means from one moment of creation, we conclude into an absolute creator. That is a completely different process. It is nothing to do with the past. It is nothing to do with the future. Our minds have been conditioned.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with time.
Yeah. Our minds, yeah, this is related to the concept of time. That's correct. Our minds have been conditioned like that, conditioned like this, under the influence of, but it's a little bit critical to a classical approach or the traditional approach, but it is reality. We have to say it. If we don't say it, who's going to say it? We always relate the events to the future. How? If I do something right, the reward will be in the future. If I do something wrong, the punishment will be in the future. There is no vertical relationship. Realization of the source of the existence of that moment. That is theoretical. And we have to understand that we are here to connect ourselves to the vertical relationship, not horizontal relationship. In the culture, what is that? If you do this, you will be punished if you do something wrong. Example, we will be punished in the future. So our mind goes into future. Before being punished, we are under the influence of the pain of punishment that it is going to inflict me. Do you understand? This is a disastrous understanding of existence. But how about eternal life? Eternal life is not in the future. We studied this but long ago. Eternal life is attached to the eternal being. Your realization of the source is to be the eternal source. When we realize that the source is the eternal one, absolute one, you go into eternal world, eternal creator, and try to solve your problem in connection with the eternal source. That is new. New in the minds of today's people, religious people. Of course, the non-religious ones deny it. Those people who say, come on, there is no God. And if there is no God, there is no eternal punishment. If there is no eternal punishment, what am I doing in this world right now? It is for my benefit. If I don't get it, it is for my loss. So I have to momentarily enjoy my life right now. Of course, when the hardship comes into the discussion, they cannot really, you can have the source. So when the hardship comes, they can't bear it. They don't say that, I have to enjoy my life right now, and I have to suffer now. And they say, I am unlucky, why do I suffer? And how long it is going to take? Because they have no vertical connection. So the doctor tells them that it is going to remain you another 6 months. They go crazy. They cannot bear it.
Who's they?
Unbelievable. That's the idea of unbelief.
But can you go back to like two options, horizontal versus vertical? So if let's just say you're a nominally religious person, so-called religious person, and maybe in a more traditional sense. So if in this example, someone gets sick and they're given illness. So if you're thinking that this is and maybe a more common way right now, which is that I'm suffering now, and I'm supposed to suffer in this life so that I can be rewarded in the hereafter. That's on the horizontal.
And I'll wait for it.
And I'll wait for it. So that's like you said, a very miserable way to live your life. And I think we see that all.
So
we see that all the time.
this mindset.
Is it really miserable? I'm sorry, but I don't.
Sounds terrible.
Look,
to be honest.
that mindset doesn't let us connect vertically.
So okay.
So
let me just
it
finish.
remains
Right.
still horizontal.
Right.
And I go into future. I go into past. That mindset must change, but it is a radical change and difficult one.
Okay, so that's option one, and that's horizontal. So now we're saying option two, which is vertical. So in the same situation, I'm given illness, but I realize that it's created in the moment, and there's something I have to learn from it. Where's like how does that line of thought continue to keep it vertical?
Okay, we studied this, but I feel that if you ask this question, as the one who
Like, so you say I have
continuously-
illness, but I'm given the
Yeah.
desire to not be ill. So that means there has to be someone who provides my health, and
Yeah.
I need an eternal source who can provide both of these things.
So I have an eternal source for my life. I have an eternal source for my health. So this is a training for me and helping me how to connect myself to the eternal. I think let the latecomers here. Alaikum salam. Get closer. Thank you. So the eternal source will help me. When I attach myself to the eternal source.
So you're ill and you think, okay, there's an eternal source. I'll get through this. This is a lesson. It's still something. It just becomes a little bit more. It becomes meaningful in your current state. So the vertical connection, there is a punishment and a reward in that moment, right? So the reward is that you're connecting it to the Creator and you're realizing that there's purpose in it. Is that the immediate reward rather than the vertical reward later on in heaven or hell?
Yeah, immediate reward. And you will find
purpose
paradise in this reward by realizing that this paradise is possible only in the presence of the absolute being. So you don't wait for paradise. You experience paradise right now within the conditions of this physical world. Of course, if the conditions of the physical creation change, which is possible, and we are always experiencing the change in physical creation, and my experience of paradise will change automatically. Now, for example, a baby enjoys something, a conscious man, grown-up man enjoys something, the same thing. Somebody makes sense of it, the other baby doesn't make sense of it, as far as we know. He experienced it, that's it. But consciously experiencing it enhances the both pain and pleasure. So the new type of creation is possible because the source is absolute. So what you say, paradise in the physical creation of this type of world is in attributing the existence to the absolute source. So he is the one who is teaching me here, educating me here, training me here, and making myself present in his making myself realize to experience his presence. You can help yourself. No. Tea, but whatever. So it is not easy because it needs a shift. It needs a serious shift of what?
So that paradigm shift.
Paradigm shift. So rather than waiting for paradise in the future, experiencing the paradise within the conditions of this kind of creation here by connecting yourself to the absolute being or attributing the creation to the absolute being. So use the creation as a means of experiencing the manifestation of the presence of the absolute being. That is very difficult. I know, especially if you come from a religious background, it is extremely difficult. If you come from an atheist background, family didn't have anything, it's very easy to understand because you have no boundary. Any religion, not necessarily Islamic religion, Christian, Jewish, or Hindu, whatever, all these kind of traditions, if you don't really change your mind and exercise, do exercise, continuous exercise is needed. Get used to perceiving this world Otherwise, you cannot really solve any problem. But I feel in myself, if I don't do this exercise, it is horrible. Life is horrible, unbearable. But when you get into this world, this kind of world, understanding of this world, we have no problem. That's why we studied loneliness. We studied loneliness. And we said you can solve your loneliness only through not changing anything externally in your world, just your worldview. Changing your worldview, you are not lonely. You know, realize you are not lonely. You don't feel any boredom, no stress, anything. But is it easy? I don't think so. Because we are so much under the heavy influence of secular worldview plus almost secularized religious view. Almost secularized. There is God, but in my practical life, I am still living in a secular life. We have to understand that. We think that belief in God and following the tradition or the religion in tradition or culture makes me change my life. No, it doesn't. Unless you become aware of your belief system, it changes. Otherwise, you change nothing. You believe in God who created you of the world. So he is there. Quran's struggle is nothing to do with this belief in God, because the enemies of the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, the Quranic teaching, believe it in God. We have to understand this. So belief in God is necessary as the creator of the universe, but you have to have the foundations. If you don't have the foundations for it, saying that the universe must be created, yeah, correct. How about your internal life? In your internal life, do you feel that you are given existence right now as you are, and this is purposefully given to you in order to connect you to your creator? So God is not alien to you anymore. This is very, we have to go over it 100 times on different occasions. Why? It is very difficult to establish this because we are not exposed to this kind of understanding at all. That the presence of God must be experienced in your own being, by yourself. Nothing to do with the future, past, or the creator of the universe out there. No. That directly your creator right now. And purposefully, everything is arranged wisely for you. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I understand the point of view, though I don't see until now that the two have to be mutually exclusive. I mean, if someone is going through intense pain, they're sick, going through intense pain.
Okay.
I think it would be very difficult for that person to not want to wish that they see a day in where they're relieved from this pain, right? I mean, I understand that that person can relieve that pain somewhat spiritually by trying to find the purpose in it, trying to connect themselves vertically like we're talking. I completely see that is a part of the coping mechanism. Not coping in the sense in that you you're trying to forget it, but you're trying to, use it as a means to connect yourself to the source of this pain and find some meaning in it. But why does that have to be either that or, just looking at the future and hoping for a better, health in the future, or even dying? I mean, some people go through such intense pain that they wish that they were to die, because then that would be relief for them. And even the Quran, there's a verse in where Mary is saying that she wished she had died before the stress that she's going through with being accused of having a baby out of wedlock. So she actually wished that she were to die. So why are we saying that these are two mutually exclusive things? Why can't it be that, yes, I am using this as a method for me to get closer to God, but also at the same time, I don't want it. And I am looking forward for the day that I don't have it, especially if I'm going through this chronic condition that is really hurting me.
Yeah. So you don't want it. That's correct. That is legitimate. You don't want it. Through not wanting it, you jump to your conclusion. You don't want it. No one says that pain is lovely. No. Through the pain, we connect. Through the pleasure, we connect. There is no alternative. I know, somehow legitimizing our dispersing our attention between past and future rather than using it fully on the present time, that reconciliation doesn't help, and it's not realistic, because the one who gave me the existence in any condition, mostly pleasurable. On occasions we get ill and we have a few minutes or days or some very exceptional cases, years of pain and die. But we have to understand that most of the pleasurable and less so with the painful moments created, both of them are aiming at the same purpose. Why should we deviate from the purpose? Under the, I wouldn't say realistically you can do it, pretext of reconciliation. Because reconciliation, it means why not think of paradise? Yes, we can think of paradise, reward in paradise, where through belief. Belief goes on vertically, never horizontally. Unfortunately, our minds are conditioned to believe in the existence of paradise and hell in the future, horizontally in the future.
Conditioned by what?
Our culture.
No, I mean,
but the way we think always.
When we were talking about predetermination, we were very clear on the fact that we live as human beings with a certain window that we're looking through, and time passes us. It's our reality. We have this reality that we're living in, and we need to relate to it. No. We do have something called the present, the past, the future. From our point of view, I know that you're saying from the Creator's point of view, it all exists right now. So from our point of view,
in the past, we always emphasized on it during those days that we studied God's divine determining. We said, in our mind, the past is in memory, existing now. But memory exists now, but past is not in reality now, in memory. And future is in imagination. Again, existing now, but in imagination. In reality, there is only one moment exists. It means I couldn't make it clear, or under the influence of this culture, we still disperse this method around, because paradise is possible with the absolute being. Paradise is possible with the existence of the absolute being. So you can, by relating your existence to the absolute being, you can, or one can, experience paradise. It is again vertical. You cannot experience paradise horizontally because it doesn't exist for you now. It is a wishful thinking. If you don't relate it to the absolute being through vertical relationship. But the culture is so heavy, so heavily conditioned us. Plus, not only religious culture, plus the education, the civilization, the culture of the society always analyze everything in terms of cause and effect relationship, which means horizontal relationship. So if you do this, you will get a good job. If when you get a good job, you will have a good payment and security for your future until you die. Of course, they don't say it. So security for your future security, and you will be comfortable. Look, all horizontal. If you do this, the tree will grow 5 years later. If you sow the seed. Example, the typical example, practical, typical example. You are hungry, wait. When you eat, you will be full and saturated. Yeah, wait. So you don't really experience the time momentarily and see the wisdom in the existence of that momentary time. Everything is related to our understanding of creation, not our understanding of God, that he created the universe, period. It doesn't help. My point is not to deny that. Of course, the universe is created. Who can deny that? It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all. And in order to be able to criticize or deny this, you have to be working very hard. This is the problem. We never work hard in denying, neither do we work hard to confirm. We don't work hard. It's very easy, people. We are very easy as far as religion is concerned. But if we have a worldly purpose, we are very serious. That is the contradiction we are living in this world. We have to be very serious as far as my understanding of reality, and try to make it as much as possible my worldly life. As much as possible, you may be not very serious, but if you can, that's what you have to do. But when it comes to religious matters, you have to be alarmed, right? Wake up. Does it really make sense? Can I really experience this in my life, personal life? Really? Very alarmed. How do you say, how can I do this? Why should I do this? For example, very alarmed. When they say how to cook something, you don't have to be 100% precise. You can do it in your way. It will become another recipe. Don't worry about it. It's not serious. But when it comes to cities, we are very careful about everything, measure of the heat and the time and the amount, and very serious. When it comes to religion, I will do it and I'm done. Then I'm done. It is time for the whole of Allahu Akbar, Assalamu alaikum, finished, done. I'm done my duty. And why did you do that? Allah ordered me to do that. That's why I'm doing it. Yeah, that's it. We never ever take it seriously because it is not in our world. Because most of the time, religion presented to us in the form of stories, narrations, narratives. They're good stories. You know what happened? One of the Sahaba one day, the Prophet did this and that. Why? Oh, you know, they suffered a lot. Our suffering is almost nothing. Why bother? Compared to the conditions that the Prophet went through. Oh, your life is perfect, man. Give an example, make you feel guilty of complaining your some shortcomings that the Prophet went to, didn't have anything to eat for weeks. They didn't have anything at all. Oh, and that is religion. That is reality. That is correct. But you cannot base your religion on a Buddhist monk's lifestyle. Like they don't need anything for 15 days. They survive. Why don't you get religious advice from them? Doesn't make sense. Okay.
Can we, so going back to the text a little bit,
Yeah.
a sentence that I was wondering about, so his endurance is not equal to the misfortunes of the present. And he begins to complain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. His endurance is not equal to the misfortunes of the present, and but after dispersing, after page 3 now.
Bottom of page 2.
Yeah.
But it's just the last.
I say, after dispersing his patience between past and the future as well, then he cannot really endure it. Endure the present happening. Yeah, that's after. But if you don't disperse it, you can manage with it because you will be really in the presence of the absolute one when you have the vertical relationship by attributing the present to the to its source, then saying that for the moment I'm giving this experience, and by whom? By the one who gave me existence, not by microbes or other factors, by the one who gives me the existence. Who is this one? Think about it. Who is this one? Who is giving you the pain, unbearable and unendurable pain? Who is giving this one? The one who gives you existence. Can you imagine? Even that moment, you seek refuge in him, in his wisdom, in his way of creating, disclosing yourself to you and making you realize who you are. We don't understand that. We don't understand one thing. And all of us have to be careful about this. I cannot understand any kind of concept of God, not the essence of God, all right? Only as much as I understand my reality. We miss this point. We think that we have to think about God. Not the essence. I know that practically people verbally say that the essence of, to think about the essence of God is forbidden. Yeah, and an impossible. That is something. But still, without trying to understand the attributes of God, qualities of God, and try to see the manifestations of God around me in the language of the Quran, in the horizons. This is the language of the Quran, afaq. Yeah? But you cannot comprehend it because you cannot comprehend the horizon in its entirety. Impossible. And it is just, and it would be, this is something interesting. It is not, but it would be only a logical exercise. You know, God's power. He is the one who created this mountain and that mountain, this star and this star and this thing. Going, and it is an external and also rationalized things. Yeah, rationalized. Something is stuck in my mind. Somebody didn't come. He was supposed to come, park the car and come. Do you think we may call? Then call her and see, just looking for it or something problem. So, excuse me. Now, we have to think of the reality of my own existence, experience it through my own existence, and conclude who I am, what my existence is, accordingly understand the source of its existence or my existence. Accordingly. But it works, of course, we know that, it works just the opposite. The more you realize that every single thing in your existence is given to you and needs an absolute creator to give existence to it, the better conception of the creator or the qualities of the creator you have. Otherwise, you cannot really think about God externally. You can only grasp the concept of the creator as much as you grasp the concept of your own being, your own self. Get it or not? It is very important. So when the pleasurous times or problem times, whatever, the painful times, unpleasant times that we are experiencing, they are all for one purpose. The purpose of existence. What is the purpose of existence?
Worship.
Sorry?
To get to know who
Yeah.
I am. To get to know who I am and consequently get to know who my creator is.
Who is the source of, what is the source of my existence? Eh? That is worship. So when you say worship in culture, it is totally misused.
I
So,
meant your worship.
so it's not that kind of things. Yeah. So now I am experiencing my reality. It works in the opposite direction. The more I understand that I have of nothing, of course, if I have the power to do anything, nothing else has the power to do anything. If I own nothing, everything is given to me, all the qualities are given to me, accordingly I understand who my Lord is. That works in this way. One of them is the negative of the other. Yeah. So if you like, no one wants the pain, but we learn through the pain the best, this negative reality. Pleasure, it must be used in this way that's difficult, comparatively more difficult, because the pleasure doesn't disturb you much. And when you are not disturbed, you don't think of the source. You just enjoy it. Forget about the source. But when you are not happy with what is created for you, you question, who is giving it to me? Who is putting me in pain? Alhamdulillah. Problems parking only?
Parking.
Sorry?
Just parking.
Couldn't stay fine?
I gave her some advice of where to go. So she's
Which is really something we have to look into. Okay, that's a Saturday problem. Okay. If we have this consciousness, the older we get, we don't want it. That not wanting is excellent. Don't discard it, disseminate it. No. Not wanting it, excellent. That's how we learn. We don't want something. But when it is given, it is for the purpose to reach the conclusion easier, quicker. That was the purpose, to know the Creator. So that is why either we are going to read or we read before. In tradition, the Prophet always encouraged people to, for example, to be watchful for the very critical moments, yeah, even maybe coming face to face with death, or protecting the other people's life by putting your life at risk or in risk. At risk. That moment is equal to 1 year's worship. Do you understand? Why? You are experiencing the reality, the truth, by even risking your own life. It means you realize that, who am I? Everything is my Creator. I'm giving the existence anyway, it doesn't matter. Everything depends on Him, not on me. Now that realization takes us into the concept of martyrdom. Yeah. One moment of event which is created and you become martyred for example, God takes away all the things He gave it to you. When you realize that these things did not or do not belong to me at all, that's what they are going. I'm just losing them. They don't belong to me at all. That realization is worth everything. One moment. That's why one moment of, but our understanding of martyrdom is reductionist. It means in the battlefield you will be killed. No. For example, let's say tornado happened and a huge waterway came and you realize that you cannot save your existence, your life, nothing. That moment. And yet, I have nothing to claim. One moment, and you are given death. Swallowed by the waters. You are a martyr. If you realize, if you don't realize, your life is waste anyways. Yeah, but if you realize, that's why belief and realization of your own self is necessary to be a martyr. Nothing to do with being killed in the battlefield. Only depends for what? For what purpose you are there? With what consciousness you are there? It has many other implications. This method explains everything to me. In my world, we can explain everything. Every matter which looks problematic, you can explain it easily because it is based on the reality, really. Okay, any more questions? Shall we move on? We understand that some moments are equal or is worth whole life. Yeah. Yeah. There are many narrations about the conditions of martyrdom, but one condition we should know. Yeah. That it must, I must experience the reality through that event. When I experience the reality, that's the purpose of existence, actually. We will die at the end anyways. We know that this world is transient, but we don't want to die. That's something else. But the purpose of transience is this, to teach me what my reality, what is the reality of my what the reality of my existence is. That is the main key point. Anymore? So it is enough. The patience which is given to us is enough to deal with any movement of a creation in under any condition. It is enough because if we are aware of the reality, then we can manage. Okay. Now we are reading from the page 3 and yeah, the first paragraph from the page 3.
We stopped at, if the day that is past held misfortune. The distress is now gone, and only tranquility remains. The pain has vanished, and the pleasure in its cessation remains. The trouble is gone, and the reward remains. Hence, one should not complain, but give thanks for enjoyment. One should not resent misfortune, but love it. The transient life of the past comes to be counted as an eternal and blessed life because of misfortune. To think upon past pain with one's fancy and then to waste part of one's patience is lunacy.
So the key point here is, as we underlined in the handbook and the handouts, the transient life. Yep. Can somebody read it? The transient life of the past comes to be counted as an eternal and blessed life because of misfortune. How? I think we explained this, but somebody can summarize it. How? Because of misfortune?
That's how you make the vertical connection.
Sorry?
That's how you make the eternal connection, or the vertical connection.
But through you make it consciousness of
your reality.
Your reality. So but it being created, okay, but whatever you have lost, especially pain, you have lost what? Pleasure, like your health. Whatever you have lost.
But what you gained is bigger.
Sorry?
But what you gained is bigger, that realization. Like we were just saying about how in a moment you can come to a realization that will last you a lifetime.
Yes, even one moment. Because through the lack of health, for that moment of pain or illness, what we do, we understand that, don't say that this is a wrong, this would be a wrong approach by saying that this illness is created by God. Okay, so whatever comes from my God, I am having, it is just an, how do you say, it doesn't bring any fruit. It came from God. Why God gives you that pain. Which kind of God he is? It is a wrong approach. It doesn't answer. It doesn't satisfy. Through the pain or illness, make it clear and simple. What we realize, I am ill now. What did I realize now? I'm given illness. At this moment, I'm created with illness. What do I realize here? What am I expected to realize? Anybody? No?
That I'm transient and I have no power.
Yeah, but you are given illness.
Right.
What that particular creation of illness makes you realize?
The illness is temporary.
Sorry?
That the illness is temporary. I will eventually move on from it.
Okay, that's not the answer. That's correct, but not the answer I'm looking
I
for.
can't sustain myself. That I'm dependent.
Yeah, getting, I can.
I cannot sustain my own existence, and therefore
But contrast this case with illness is the lack of what? Health. So use your phrase now, I cannot sustain my
own health.
health. What? Your,
Oh, but
what did you say?
what did I say in the beginning? I cannot sustain myself.
Well, no,
My
you
own
said,
health.
I cannot sustain my own health.
no.
Is it yours?
That is the problem. See, make the mistake. It is beautiful. Only through our mistakes that we learn the truth. So my own health, no, we understand it is not my own.
Right, sure.
Right? That's why that say it, make it clear. so that it becomes clear where these mistakes in our understanding grips into our thought. It is not mine. So when pain is created, I realize the opposite. Health that I thought I had wasn't my own health. You see, it is given to me. I understand. Look, God is the creator of the pain. No, be careful. Although he created it, that's correct. Who created the painful existence? But it is not the point that we have to concentrate. I have to concentrate that pain is the way my health is taken away, and I cannot hold it. I cannot keep it. It wasn't my own. It was given. So pain is given in order to make the person realize that health did not belong to him. Yeah? Understood now? That realization is the point in creation. So God doesn't torture anybody, make you realize your healthy moments, your healthy creation, your pleasurable life, just for 1-2 moments in a year, says it is not yours. Have you realized? Yeah. We need to be reminded. That is the beauty in explaining the things we call evil existence. There is no evil existence. My approach is wrong. That is evil for me. I have to understand that there is no evil in existence. We have to understand the purpose of everything is based on the purpose of this creation. This world. Why does it exist as it is? Why? What is the point? Who brought it? Why? We have to start from this and then continue. So here it says this transient life of the past comes to be counted as an eternal and blessed life because of misfortune. Do you understand how it becomes a blessed life because of misfortune? Yeah. Don't say that, I will be patient. Oh, I'm in pain. I will be patient. I wouldn't complain God to anybody. Oh, correct. Yeah. So after I die, I will be rewarded. That is not the solution, because it is said, okay, why don't I be rewarded now? Huh? What is going on? Somebody interprets it, oh, it is full of just jungle in philosophy. God is really teaching us by torturing us. So when he gets angry, he tortures us so that we will learn from torture, we will chip away. Another problem, pedagogic problem, pedagogic problem. If someone is doing something wrong, by torturing this man and making this man give up this wrong action is not the right way of teaching. For example, teaching people that if you don't pray, you will be punished in the hereafter. So if I don't pray, I will be punished. Why God does forces me to pray? And if I say, okay, but that may be possible. Yeah, look at this universe is huge. That's how we generalize the idea. And the one who created this universe must be really, really a huge one. So if he says, I'm going to punish you, never know, it may happen. Keep on the safe side. So pray and do it. Okay, I'm not finished. So then I did it, all right? So, okay, calm down, calm down. Don't get angry with me. God, I'm speaking to God. So calm down. Don't get angry with me. I did what you wanted me. What else do you want? Yeah, that is the old sacrifice in order to soothe God's anger in certain traditions. Oh, it's unbearable. It's a misconception. Oh, misconception. God is angry, so I will slaughter an animal and put the blood, scatter the blood around something, and the God will say, okay, now I understand. Why? Because you've slaughtered an animal. What is it to do with it? It is illogical. There's no connection because you slaughtered an animal. So what? What is it to do with my anger? So I'm angry with you, and then you go and slaughter a sheep, and I will say, okay, now I calm down now. It is irrelevant, illogical. There's no logical connection. I don't know. This understanding of sacrifice, everything is problematic.
Then why do we sacrifice and eat?
No, it's not sacrificing.
When we do this,
Oh, no, that is your call of sacrificing. Culture calls us sacrificing. What are you sacrificing? Sheep belongs to him, and what are you sacrificing? It doesn't belong to you anyway. What are you sacrificing? That is misconception of the culture. So we have to go through them. These are all, I would say dirty, but stains that we have to clear them up. New conception, new understanding, which makes sense, which is consistent with the fundamental understanding. It needs really serious thinking. Seriously, taking the matter seriously. All these cultural concepts must be put in a bag and here aside. all of them definitely need to be redefined according to really what the purpose of this creation is. But there are some truth in it, but we have to redefine all of them. If they were true, let them stay there. But we have to redefine all of them according to the purpose of creation, purpose of existence. We have to start from the beginning. That is not an easy job, but it's a very serious responsibility that we have to do it. If the students of the Quran don't do it, I don't think anybody else, anyone else, any other community can do it. Because the Quran is the only source which emphasizes on pure purpose of the creation as to get to know who your creator is, who you are, who your creator is. Everything is, all other rituals, etc., everything is for this purpose. Who you are, so who your creator is. That's what this is the training place for this, nothing else. You are here, you and I are here for nothing else. Who am I? To learn this. Of course, the opposite, that's the opposite. According to my description of myself, I understand who my creator is. If I have a stain in my understanding who I am, it will be reflected in my understanding of God. It has been struggled among the Muslim early classical Muslim scholars for centuries, not long, but it lingered along the history for some another centuries, but mainly 3 centuries, after the death of the Prophet. People, Muslim scholars, the serious ones, of course, the ordinary people take care of their life, don't worry about them. You cannot help them. They can manage with their life. But the scholars fundamentally concentrated on these fundamental matters. The purpose of existence, our reality, what is the nature of our actions, our free will. These are very essential fundamental problems. Of course, they had very hot debates. These debates, hot debates, of course, they have to struggle. We cannot really get the right ideas straight away, simply, just like that. Simple. It is there, the cup of tea, pour it and that's it done. No, you have to struggle generation by generation, generation by generation. So what happened? Of course, it caused tension among the community. And this tension caused some sort of dispute and discordance in the society. And they said, okay, stop quarreling about this and start imitating. All right? And people went through stagnation. Is it the English word? Stupefying the minds of the people. Stupefying. Yeah, making stupid. Okay. What should I believe in? You have to believe in the angels as well. What are they? There are 4 main angels. This understand. This count the names. And okay, I believe in them. Why? Because scholars told me that it is in the Quran. But learning, hearing became belief. Oh, learned something, became belief. What does it You just learned that in Islamic teaching, belief in angels is necessary. It doesn't mean that you believed in it. You said, yeah, I agree with it. Why? I am a Muslim. But this is not belief. Belief is conviction, certainty within yourself. Not because you heard. So knowledge is equated with belief. Belief lost its significance in the community for centuries.
So
For
the society we live in, Dr. Ali, we don't believe in critical thinking, and it's not only the Islamic community that's plagued by it, but it's, it's everywhere. There's just a lack of critical thinking.
Why I gave the example of Islamic society, this is the only source of hope, because they are basing their argument on the Quran. The others that are fundamental, they cannot go ahead. How can you say, oh God, thank you, God, alhamdulillah. So the others fundamental say what? The others, some of them. Can you imagine a person said that somebody is the son of God? Eh? How far it can go? It can't go nowhere. Nowhere. If somebody is the son of God, or saying that I am the chosen people, what can you do with this? Why are you chosen? Because I'm chosen. What does it mean? But you cannot go. Fundamentals are baseless. So the problem with the solution lies in the Muslim community, and the Muslim community has the source. Has the source. Now this community is or made into stagnation by saying that these kind of arguments are causing problems in the community. In order to avoid the conflict, we should not think about it, talk about it, accept it as it is. So Iman is totally neglected. So Iman studies, belief studies, certainty in one's own conviction through his own awareness, consciousness is totally put aside, ignored for centuries. That's why it is difficult for us to get over it, to struggle through and get the right idea. Yeah, it is not difficult. That's why I say, look, don't try to be perfect at all. I don't try to be perfect. Otherwise, impossible to be perfect. And we cannot go ahead. I will say one sentence. If I am absolutely right and perfect and correct, I wouldn't be able to speak even one phrase, not sentence. So I dare making mistakes. That's how we learn. So that's what I want you also, all those people who join here, make mistakes, don't bother. Make mistakes. So through your mistake, we will learn the truth. So we are not going to fight, don't bother, don't worry. So we are not going to have parties, the group supporters of this, supporters of that. Even we have, that is for the sake of truth. So I really love the companions of the Prophet, love both sides equally. They fought over one concept, justice. What is justice? How do we understand justice? What is just? One concept. They killed each other. They are the men. Why? For the definition of one word. They stood straight behind their understanding, so the subject was hot. Yeah? But One of them made a mistake, the other one doesn't matter. Their intention was to stand for the truth. What we do? Nothing. Sleep. Huh? Sleep, nothing. At least they struggled. They wanted to understand what truth is. So the first generation afterwards, they said, how are we going to define God's attributes? Fought over it. You know, this is the word, this is the kalam, the discipline, the name of discipline comes from there. Kalamullah, kalam, the word of God. What is the word of God? They struggled. They wanted to understand. Some of them made mistakes. I believe certainly those people who made mistakes totally forgiven. They are rewarded. You know why? Because of their mistakes, we are learning the truth now. Yeah, but they didn't make mistakes on purpose, saying that I'm going to make a mistake and mislead these people. No, they thought it was right. To stand behind what you think is right is right. Do you understand? That's why Ali and Muawiyah fought, Ali and Aisha fought, yeah? Both of them are the heroes. Why? They fought for the truth, for reality. And they were the men. What are we doing? This is wrong, this is wrong, this one was wrong, so curse him. It's stupid to curse a man who thought this idea was right and stood behind it. Even in our times, if someone doesn't really make politics, right, political aims, doesn't really have an, how do you say, hidden agenda in his claims, sincerely believes something is true and stands behind it, definitely he will have his reward with God. Do you understand? Even in our time, under any names, I don't care. Anybody who is sincerely defending his idea is the man. Do you understand this?
Should you be defending your idea? I mean, if you sincerely feel that you did find the truth and you're okay.
But not you are okay. You have to look for the truth. But so far, in your journey of expedition or research, in your journey of research, you realize that up to now, this is the truth I have to defend. Truth, I have to defend it, right? And this man is doing something right, defending the truth. But it doesn't mean that what he said is right or wrong. That is, you have to decide for yourself. But you cannot blame this man because he stood behind his right. That is the point. I have to learn that I have to struggle to find the truth. Whatever the truth I found, stand behind it. Yeah, stand behind it. Whatever the truth I found. But it doesn't mean that I shouldn't search for the truth. No, I have to search for the truth. I am searching for the truth. And for the moment, I understood this is the truth. Appreciate it. Don't blame this man. But of course, don't play hypocrisy. Don't be double-dealing person. Yeah. And don't have a political agenda. For example, I will do this so that I will get support from the people. So I will be the famous man. My books will sell a lot, or my programs will make rate. And then of course, you will pay more. You will be paid more if you get more rate. This kind of calculations is the problem. But we are talking not about a certain person, we are talking about the attitude, standing behind the truth, looking for the truth, and finding out something is right, but it doesn't mean that what he found is right. You understand? For example, let's say, with a typical example, there is nothing to be shy, to need shy away from the fight between Ali and Muawiyah. If they were sincerely, I don't know whether they are sincere or not, but if they were sincerely defending their ideas, both of them was right in defending their ideas. But afterwards, we realized that person A is more correct than the other one. Okay, you carry on the truth. Take the torch and continue running. Do you understand? But don't blame the one who made a mistake and stood behind it. No, blame the mistake itself, not the man. So both of them did this right thing by standing for the truth that they found out. Somebody wanted to say something more. No.
If something makes sense to you, right, then you have to stand behind what makes sense to you.
Yeah.
And another person can be claiming that it is, I don't know how should I rephrase this, it is making sense to him or her, but I feel that he's still struggling with that. And so I just mind my own business, as in just stand behind my truth and then let that person be stuck with whatever he is stuck in with.
No, we are not judging the people at all. We are judging, or we are making a judgment about the attitude. Searching for the truth is necessary. While you are searching for the truth, you may come up with a mistaken idea. That is okay, because you don't know that it is the wrong idea, wrong understanding. You thought that it was right idea and you defended the right idea. That's correct. We are not talking about any person. You have to search for the truth and stand behind it. That's the principle. So if someone searches for the truth and stands behind it, is correct. So don't be afraid of making mistakes so that it stops you from searching the truth. Do you understand? I don't know. I may make a mistake because I cannot trust my mind, because you cannot trust the reasoning anyways. Yeah. So don't use the reasoning. And the reasoning is created redundant for you. It means God was stupid to create the reasoning, because it is not to be used anyways. You understand this? It is very wide. It is very wide among everybody. Christians, Jews, Muslims, is everywhere. So you cannot trust your reasoning. So what do you have to do? What is the alternative? You cannot trust your reasoning. Exactly. So you see, imitate whom then? Yeah, that's correct. And whom? Yeah, I have a big, long beard and some religious gown. Huh? So imitate me. I am the authority. Right? And then we blame as Muslims that in Christianity there is a pope who is unfollowable. No, it is impossible. Yeah, we claim that. But what we do, we have each have a pope. Although we claim Christianity because of the concept of the pope, we have all our popes, not even one sometimes. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't have a teacher, but don't go into extreme. Of course I have a teacher. I have to learn and make my own mind up and decide. So I have to come to the discussions. We have to share and listen if somebody says, whether makes sense to you or not, and judge it within your own feelings, through your own feelings, and come to a conclusion. That is the healthiest way. But if you keep suspecting your capacity, that I don't know, I cannot trust my mind, yeah, and abandon reasoning, abandon searching, and you become a chimpanzee, not a human being. So what I have to do, yes, I shouldn't trust my reasoning, that's correct, but it doesn't mean that I shouldn't use it. I have to keep investigating. Who can claim that I hold the truth absolutely with no doubt? Any person in the world? Even the prophets say, if God doesn't teach me, I know nothing. Yeah, it means I am not the source of truth. I know nothing means I have to search for myself. I cannot claim to the truth. Do you see? I know nothing of the absolute truth, only through revelation. Yep.
Okay. So through my reasoning, okay, I'm searching for the truth. And through my reasoning, I realized that the way I reasoned in the past did not help me on my quest to finding the truth. That previous reasoning.
Didn't help you.
On my quest.
How did you? Can you say that I am a college student, and primary school education didn't help me? Can you say this?
Yes.
Can you?
Because.
Can you say yes or no? Careful. Primary school education didn't help me. I am a college student now. All right. Mm-hmm. Can this man ever say that primary school education didn't help me?
Maybe the mistakes from primary school.
Okay, no, you are learning through your mistakes. Don't worry about it.
Well, technically you cannot, because it's tied in. You get promoted to the next grade when you master.
Not because of the official rules. Not because of the rules. If you didn't have the primary school education, it was this very primitive way of thinking. How can you develop yourself? Of course, you have to make mistakes in order to make improvements. So you are going to, let's say, learn to become a mechanic. So if you say, I know nothing. Yes, you know nothing. Yeah, to start with, you know nothing. Now, if you don't get the spanner, or is it right, in your hand, or the screwdriver, and if you don't get the hammer in your hand and start doing, and while you are doing, it is inevitable not to make mistake. So through your mistakes, the good teacher shouldn't get angry with you, teach you the right one. Yeah, it means if you avoid from making mistakes, fearing that you are making mistakes, you made mistakes in the past, stop developing it, you become a chimpanzee, not a human being.
I'm sorry, I'm trying
So,
to understand what are you trying to say? So if you made without mistakes, you cannot
wait until you become a perfect in order to reason. It is impossible. It is impossible. You cannot become a perfect man just out of blue. It is impossible.
Why are we only looking at mistakes? I mean, don't you also have to develop your skills one step at a time?
Yes.
So before you can be a mechanic on a car, you probably need to know how to fix a bike.
No, of course you don't apply. You have to use the plier. You may not know.
know
Okay, so if you make a mistake, even if you make a mistake while you are using the plier, it is okay. Through these mistakes that you develop your ability how to use the plier in the best way. It is okay. We have to understand this. I believe that people are frightened because of making a mistake, so that they taught them you cannot do because you don't know how to use the plier. Never try and get the car to me, I will repair it for you. You never develop yourself. You become an independent imitator. That is why we are not encouraged. That is the excuse that the people keep presenting it to us. That no, you cannot trust your reasoning. You are a fallible man. Who is not fallible? Who is not fallible? So we have to understand that we are created beings and we only learn through our mistakes. So try your best, Don't be afraid of making mistakes. That's what you have to build your confidence in yourself through making mistakes. It is impossible not to have a life or understanding without making mistakes. That's how we are. That is, if it is wrong, that's God's mistake then. He created me with this capacity.
So going back to my initial query, so I realized some of my mistakes, and through those mistakes, hopefully, I'm getting the lesson from it. Now I'm presented with someone else who is in the same mistake that I went through.
Mm-hmm.
And then how can I help this person get out of that mistake?
Don't worry. I went through this stage. You will go through this. Just carry on searching. Encourage people to study themselves, to understand themselves, to benefit from the teachers, but to make their own conclusions. Because Iman, ultimately, belief, is your conclusion. That is why in the Christendom, Jewish tradition, Hindu tradition, Muslim tradition, you don't see belief education, belief training. Somebody may say that we have a class on itiqad, belief. It means they are giving you information. They are not teaching you how to reason, how to understand. They just give you previous conclusions, the conclusions of the previous scholars, and ask you to imitate them, to memorize them, to say that I believe in this as well. What do you believe? Amantu billah wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi. Whatever you say, everything is okay, I believe. Finish. What do they mean? What do they mean for you? Have you been convinced? I had a very vivid example recently. Somebody said he believes something. I said, why? I said, I believe them because everybody says this is the truth, So I trust the Quran and the scholars of the Quran. Yeah. What made you believe in it? And my friend, you don't believe. You learn that in Islam, these are the requirements of the subject that we have to study and believe. But of course, we don't study, we don't investigate, but we learned this and we thought we believed in it because we didn't say no. We didn't say no. So belief is turned or used to learn and not to reject it or openly. That is belief. That's very dangerous. Do you understand that? Knowledge turned into become a belief. Knowledge turned into become belief. Knowledge means learning. You know, what do you have to believe in Christianity? What do you have to believe in Islam? You have to believe that Jesus was the Savior or is the Savior, and Jesus is alive. Yeah, Jesus is alive. How come that he is alive? You know, this is the fundamental belief in the Christianity, and the Bible says so. But how can you be? Are you convinced yourself? But I trust Bible. I trust Bible. You see, he has no conviction, no conviction. Now we do the same thing in Islam. I believe in something. How? Scholar says so. I trust that the Quran is true. Why? If the Quran is our book, sacred book, and people say that there are lots of miracles about it. That's it. Is it belief really? Yeah. Of course, it is not denial, outward denial, but it's not belief either. We have to understand this. Oh, shall we read some more? Okay.
As far as days yet to come are concerned,
Yeah, the days yet to come are concerned. Yeah.
since they have not yet come, to think now of the illness or misfortune to be born during them and display impatience is also foolishness. To say to oneself, tomorrow or the day after, I will be hungry and thirsty, and constantly drink water and eat bread today, is pure madness. Similarly, to think of misfortunes and sicknesses yet in the future, but now non-existent, to suffer them already, to show impatience and to oppress oneself without any compulsion, is such stupidity that it no longer deserves pity and compassion. In short, just as gratitude increases divine bounty, so too complaint increases misfortune and removes all occasion for compassion.
Now, I think the rest, if we understand the last one, the rest of the text is self-explanatory. The last one, gratitude increases divine bounty. Why? So too, complaint increases misfortune and removes all occasion for compassion. So you said, I mean, you are just torturing yourself. What shall I do? Neither other human beings nor God takes any compassion on you because you are torturing yourself for nothing, not in a realistic place. So we have to understand first the gratitude. If we understand the first phrase, we can understand the second. What do you understand from gratitude increases divine bounty? What does it mean? What do you understand from it? Any explanation? Gratitude increases divine bounty.
The attitude of being grateful is realizing that whatever it is you're experiencing isn't a product of yourself, it's something that's given. And it's not a product of yourself, it's something that's given.
Yeah.
And so the one that gives has it in abundance.
It means
It means, yeah, absolutely.
Infinite.
So if you recognize that, I guess, the little handful that you're getting from the storehouse is full, but you have access to it, it's as if it's yours as well.
So gratitude necessitates that your understanding of the bounty is not from you, so that you are being grateful to the one who provided it for you. So you said that who is giving it to me? It requires the search for the source of this bounty, blessing. Where is it coming from? So it is not mine. It is given to me. Health is given to me. Example, or whatever is we are experiencing is given to me, but it is not mine. Okay, who gave it? So what do you go now? What do you do now? You understand that the source is absolute. You put it in a succinct
Yeah.
way. Thank you. So when you understand that the source is absolute, through the gratitude you get the source, or through your understanding that it is given to you, you look for the source. When you realize the source, you are grateful to the source, and the source is absolute. It means you realize that it is a drop or a small stream of water is coming from ocean. You realize it. So you say, this stream is coming from an ocean. Don't worry. It never ends. Yeah. Relax. So in our relationship as well, if I'm hungry, needy, and let's say I'm very needy, very hungry, you gave me $5 practically. You say that go and feed yourself. If I say just $5, huh? Okay, I can get something to eat now, and it is enough for me now. But how about lunchtime? How about dinner? Come on. What do you do? What do you feel? Release your feeling. What do you take pity on me? Is that human being? Yes or no?
Yes.
Say.
Do I take pity when you say something
No.
like that? No, I don't.
So
No, I would. I pity the fact that you feel that way.
no, yeah.
I mean,
it means you are sorry for me, but you don't say that. Oh, this guy deserves more.
no, but I pity that you're
Yeah,
thinking
that's
that.
it. That's your understanding. That's correct. That's correct. Another way of looking at it. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's good. Good point. So you don't feel that you would get more. You will give more. So when you get when you give me the $5, you say, thank you very much. This is very generous of you. I'm now going to have something to eat, and I haven't been eating for days. No, exaggerated example, but you say, oh, this man really deserves more. So from this feeling, we understand that my Creator is teaching me how he is going to treat me. So in reality, as it is explained, that when I realize that when I'm grateful, when I realize it is coming from an absolute source is just revealing himself to me through this $5. It means he takes care of me. So I have somebody to take care of. From there, you relax. You don't get nasty attitude. You relax. You are happy. You have a nice relationship. You are happy with your Creator because of $5. But this attitude definitely is rewarded within itself. Is rewarded. Huh? Okay, the pleasure. I will give you more. Guaranteed, yeah? Because you acknowledge the source. When you acknowledge the source, you don't get despair at all. Because the one who gives you $5 is or has an ocean, let's say, compared to the drop. It is a drop from the ocean. Example, even more, but this is an example. It's just an analogy. So it's a drop from ocean. That ocean doesn't mind giving you another drop, because he's giving you. So you build confidence. Through the confidence, you have a happy life. It's very simple. Oh, that's why in the life, maybe we can stop here. In the life of the prophet, and also it was the Islamic tradition established later on by generation, they don't mention the negative thing. They mention the good side so that it will encourage the sense of gratitude, increase, develop, improve, so that the people will always say that, look, there was somebody who had an illness and he recovered. It means the one who gives the illness also provides the health. Also provides it. So trust him. This positive attitude has an positive effect even on your biological system. Everybody knows it. So it is the sign everywhere that gratitude increases the divine bounty. So be helpful, be thankful. We have to be thankful for anything given to us, any small amount. Inshallah.
I'm wondering if I'm thankful for something, but at the same time, I want to acknowledge that I want more of it. Like if I'm given something and I want more of it.
Yeah.
If I acknowledge the fact that I want more of it, does it go in conflict with me being thankful, or?
You can, no, but it depends on, to want more of it is human. That's why, or that's how we feel the need for eternal happiness. I want always more and more and more until eternal happiness. Yeah, that is how we understand that eternal happiness is promised for me through my feelings. So you cannot stop yourself. I want more of it. Who can give it to you? For example, I got a drop from the ocean and I want more of it. What should I do? I have to go to the ocean. Yeah, I have to go to the ocean again because he gave me one drop and it can give me 2, 3 more, 4. It means I found the ocean. The gratitude ties you up to the ocean. But if you are ungrateful, the one drop is not going to help me, even if it doesn't wet my hand. Yeah? But you don't realize that it is coming from an ocean. You concentrate on the drop. And it's not enough, it is not enough, it is not enough. You put yourself in the constraint. Now you are always under stress, no pleasure in your life. That is why belief in God, realizing the source to be the eternal source, is the way out of relaxation, for relaxation. It is the way of pleasure in your life. So try to be thankful because of the source. Not only, okay, you gave me this much, okay, what shall I do? I cannot claim more. For example, oh, okay, I have to say thank you because he gave me this much. But this realization, divine bounty, it needs consciousness, not unconscious gratefulness means, okay, thank you for $5. So, okay, what shall I do? It is better than nothing. No, where is it coming from? Who is it giving to me? Who is it that who gives to me? Who is it? Who is giving it to me? Sorry. Who is it giving it to me? That when you understand, this is the one who takes care of the needy ones. So in the evening, I will be hungry again. Eh? So I will be needy, and he is the one who takes care of the needy ones. I can go there. Look, it is evening now. I'm hungry. It was morning. Because you are the one who takes care of the needy ones. I am needy. You are sincere. He knows. So you understand that we have to find the source. When we find the source through gratitude, it is the only way to find it. If you are not grateful, there is no way to find the source. Claiming, blaming, it means, for example, God gave me this much only. Even you say God, it means you don't know whom you are talking about. God is the absolute one. I think we can start next week from the 5th, because all the text, the rest of the text is just giving further explanation. I'm marking here today's date. So next Saturday we can start from the 5th point. But of course we deviated into other subjects, but these subjects were methodologically important, or for us, I believe so, and we have to emphasize on them on every occasion. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر السورة.